Hey, welcome to another episode of Groovi Tuesday. I hope everybody's well. I know it takes a while for people to find the room, pull up a chair, grab a drink, maybe some breakfast. Still early for some people, so I shall do my usual bit of waffling. I can see we've got some eyes in the room. I wonder whether lovely Mo will be first in the chat this morning. So, what's the weather like for everybody? It's quite fresh here in Edenbridge in Kent. The sun's shining, but it is a little bit fresh. Good morning, Helen. Helen's first in the room. Sally. Sunny but cold Leicestershire. Yeah, it's the same here. Karen, good morning. Here we come. Everyone's pulling up a chair. Sharon, Jill. All of a sudden, we have an influx of names. Good morning. Lovely Sue is in the room. Sue's in the room shouting. She's on capital letters. She wants to be heard. Oh, hang on. Phone. Just so I can check. All goodly. Sue said the sound is all good. Good morning, everybody. Jane, Helen, Mary. There we go. Ken. Super duper. So, smiley faces from Sue. So, yeah, hope everybody's well. Staying inside. It's definitely fresh out there this morning, but the sun is shining. At least it's dry for the time being. Anyway, I don't know what the forecast is for the weekend. I read somewhere that I think there was some snow up north near Durham way yesterday. So the snow can stay up there. I don't want any down here. So good morning, lovely Pat. Yes, another episode of Groovi Tuesday. And this week, I thought we'd start our journey with Tina Cox's Layering Plate Mate. I'm going to have like an introduction and have a look at some amazing artwork from the design team. I'll make a plan going forward for leading us up until to Christmas. I know Christmas, I can't believe Christmas is just around the corner. I saw yesterday in the shack that many of you have started to put your Christmas trees up. Many of you have done all your Christmas shopping, made all your Christmas cards. All I can say, it's lovely to be that well organised. For me, that's what Christmas Eve is all about. But yeah, it is what it is, isn't it? So, yeah, I mean, it seems to get earlier in the shops I appreciate that. I mean, saying that, we've been looking at Christmas since June of this year when we launched the Christmas range on Create and Craft. And that seems such a long time ago now. So yeah. So previous couple of weeks, we've been looking at the multi-needle tools. And so now I thought we'd go back and have a look at the latest release from Tina Cox, because there's so much mileage in that collection of both the plate mate in its own right and also those lovely parchlets. So for those who are thinking, well, what's this all about? Maybe you missed the shows on Create and Craft with Tina. So let me show you the plate first, and then I'll show you the traced out element. Okay, let's do it the right way around. So for those of you that are familiar with Groovi, you know that we have a number of plate mates. You've got the traditional one that comes in the starter kit. We've got a Groovi grid one. We've got so they're A5 square. We then have varying different ones for the A4. We've got one for A5. So yeah, so there's lots of various different plate mates, and this is an A4 square plate that has a hole in the middle, and it houses the parchlets or the A6sq baby plates. Now, if you've got the starter kit, you would have the adapt plate, so you can use that. But this is all about sort of layering and frames and taking different areas of it. And it comes with a very useful sentiment panel plate. From me to you, enjoy today, happy birthday, etc., etc. And sometimes to have these little words already spelt out for us just adds that finishing touch to our designs. Now, when this was released at our annual parchment, spit it out, Paul, at our annual parchment retreat a couple of months back. And to work alongside those was a set of 4 layering parchlets, also designed by Tina. Okay, and if you're new to Groovi, sometimes it can be a little bit overwhelming because you look at the plate and think, oh, it's too big, or I don't know where to start. Well, that's the whole idea behind sort of like the complete parchlet range that Tina brought to us, whether it be the Christmas designs. It's all about keeping it small, and if you want to, being able to extend the design. So this is a lovely collection, and it also came with an ideas and inspiration booklet to give you some ideas and inspiration, as it says on the cover, of what you can do with the plates in this collection. Okay. So, okay, message from Sue. Helen Stevens wants to send love to Dawn from everyone. Broken hip. Oh, sorry to hear you've got a broken hip. Wishing you a very, very speedy recovery. So, yeah, sorry to hear that. But hopefully you'll be up and running around. But at least while you're recovering, you can get in the groove and chill out, can't you? So, okay. Get well soon, Dawn. Absolutely. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I thought we'd break it down and we'd go through the ideas and inspiration booklet and show you what some of the design team have done using these plates. And it really does just, it's the tip of the iceberg, as the old saying goes. So let's pop these to one side. So when we open this up, we can see you've got the plate mate, you've got the 4 parchlets, and any parchlet or A6sq baby plate will fit in there perfectly. Okay. So what Tina did, she came up with some ideas for them to work well, to show different concepts of layering. Now, whether you do it all on one layer or whether you use several layers. One of the great things about looking at the design plates is that they've been designed to work with our pico dies. So our pico squares and our pico circles. So if you wanted to build up those layers that Tina was so great at showing us how to do, then the pico dies really do come into play. So for example, if I take the square one, these are where I've already cut out of the pico squares. And there is a large one. I wonder where that one went. I've lost that one. That does the larger one as well. Okay. And then you'll see that that one fits on there, fits on there, fits on there. This one fits on the outside of that one. Bit big for that one. Then this one fits on the smaller one of those. So potentially on this one plate, let me just bring it over a little bit. Running out of space. So you've got 1, 2, 3 layers. Got 1, 2, and then 3. So you could make a lovely card. Let me zoom out a little bit. I didn't want to lose the detail of the actual plates, but there we go. I can come back in afterwards. So this one plate has potentially got 3 different layers if you wanted to. Okay, and then finally you've got the diddly little pico square that works around these little panels here on the plate mate. Okay, so that's the squares, and then let me just pop those to one side. And then when we have a look at the circles, we've got that one there, then we've got that one that goes there, this one goes on there, this one goes on there, then this one goes on there, and the tiny little one goes on there. So if you want to build up your layers, then combining it with the pico plates is perfect. because you haven't got to worry about perforating and then cutting. You can concentrate on the design itself. Okay, and in the booklet, it tells you, when you look at the layout concept, it tells you which, the 6 from the outside, the 8 from the outside, which one it is that you would need to create. So if we have a look at this finished piece from Tina, this is the actual card here. And I would say this is a 7x7 card. Let's have a look. Yeah, 7x7 card blank. And you have all those layers. So this has been done on 1, 2 layers of parchment, but you can do it on one piece. Then let's have a look. Then we have a look at this layout here. And this one's been done by Carol Baker. So what Carol's done, she's then enhanced it further by adding in a larger outer frame. Okay. And it seems to be on this first collection, all of these layouts have been, I mean, Tina created the layouts and the design team did a fantastic job of translating them. So this is another one from Carol. So you've got that lovely inner one there. And then this one, but again, Carol's made it bigger by using the plate mate. So you can keep it lovely and petite, or you can go big. It's all about having that versatility. The next one by Carol, this one here, exactly how it's shown on there. But if you've got the plate mate, then you can make it bigger as well. And then finally, the fourth one from Carol is this piece here. And then Carol's changed the outer frame with just some dots and lines. Okay, so that's from that one plate, this one here in conjunction with the plate mate. Then we move on to the beautiful butterfly and sprig parchlet. So this piece of artwork from Tina, you can see the layering, it just really does give a lovely look to it. Okay, then this one down here, now this one has been created by Jane. I might have known it was Jane. Pretty in pink, just like Jane. So using the coloured parchment, this one is all on one layer, but it gives the illusion of various layers. Okay, then the next one is from Karen. So this is this piece here. There we go. So I love the versatility of the plates, and especially when you're using it in conjunction with the plate mate, because it allows you then to extend the design further with ease. The next one is from Karen as well, Karen Jackson. And then finally, the fourth one is from Jane as well. So you can see how these, let me come in on this one, how these little sentiment panels, Jane's just put the sentiment in there and extended the panel on that one. Okay, then all this lovely artwork. So now we move on to the pretty poppy parchlet. Not easy for me to say. I can show you. So this is a lovely, I love the lemons and the greys on this one from Tina. Then the next one is from Julie Campbell. Julie's even pico cut that little sentiment out as well. That's dedication. They've been pico cut out to create the illusion of layers as well. Now I couldn't find a piece of artwork for this one, so maybe this one wasn't covered by the design team. Then the next one is lovely Josie Davidson. I love this, that lovely red pico cutting in the middle. Really shows the versatility of this poppy. Whether you want to pico cut all of them, but that's really easy to do. And then the final piece of artwork on this one is from Julie Campbell as well. See, it's quite popular with the design team, pico cutting out the poppy head. Okay, so then we look at the final one in the collection. So this is the artwork from Tina, using that lovely rainbow parchment. Wonder what colour? Rose Garden. Rose Garden and lavender fields works really well with this collection. What's Mr. Ken up to? Pretty poppy parchlet popping perfectly. Parchment. Oh, Mr. Ken. Another variation on the theme on this one. This one is from Josie. Yeah, lovely Josie's done this one. A little bit of bling on there, using the perga glitter. Sticky ink and mapping pen at its best. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Then the next one is from Glynis. Variation. Look, it looks different depending on where you position your flowers. A little bit of colour added with the pergoliners and the perga colour pens. Then the next one is from Jill. I love this little corner. Really beautiful. This reminds me of the Clever Corner stamps. Look, the pattern building. Really lovely. And then the final piece of artwork is from Gorgeous Glynis. There we go. This one just here. So taking the tag from the Platemate. And for me, these are great, an introduction to parchment craft as well, because you can contain your artwork into a small piece, or you can go big. They have so much versatility to them. So that's the lovely artwork. Oh, and this piece of artwork, let me show you this, how versatile that poppy one is. So this is what Tina created, showing different ways of applying colour or dimension. I'm going to come in on this one. I'm going to start at the top. Oh, I don't know why that's doing that. I think it's probably trying to focus. Let me come in on the overhead. Oh, I haven't seen that before. I have to get Mr. Jim to have a look at that. Right, so let me zoom in. Oops, sorry, went too fast. Okay, I'm going to come in and then we'll really have a look. Shadow embossing at its best. Picot cutting. Simply coloured on the back. A combination of shadow embossing and colouring. I reckon that one was pencils, and I reckon this one's pens. And then this one is a combination of colouring on both the front and the back. Okay, but look, just these lovely little toppers in circles, picot cut out with the dies, can really, well, they're a game changer because they just save you so much time. Excuse me. So let me pop all this lovely artwork to one side. So I thought what we'd do is we sort of break it down, and we're going to keep it simple to start off with, and then we'll grow a little bit more confident on as we progress through the journey. So it means for people that are maybe joining us for the first time, think, oh, I can do that. And anyone can do it. You really, really can. Do we have any newbies in the room today? Anybody joining in for the first time? Say hello. It'd be lovely to give you a welcome. So I thought what we'd do, I wanted to combine different elements of the designs. So this is a piece by Jill Askham. Okay, and I love the color palette on this. But I thought we're going to keep it simple. We're just going to work with clear parchment. And what you'll notice is it combines, let me see, it combines, he says, this plate here for the circles, like so. Okay. And it also combines the squares from the Platemate. And all we're going to need I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. I'm going to use this frame on here. Okay, so even if you haven't got your Pico dies, then this is nice and easy that we can trim it down. And I wonder, is that one? Yeah. If you have got your Pico dies to hand, then if you wanted to, you could Pico cut that frame out while we're chatting. But I'm going to keep it nice and simple and just go with a normal piece of A5 parchment. Okay, so what are we going to need? Let me zoom out. Oops, that wasn't a good shot, was it? Ouch, static. All right, let me zoom out a little bit and we'll put a list together of what we're going to need for this session today. And it's going to be just your essentials. Okay, so we're going to work with the PlateMate. Okay, and we're going to work with this lovely little plate here. Okay, we need A5 parchment because for this one we're just going to keep everything on one layer. Okay, so we need our PlateMate, the plate, parchment, Groovi number 1, 2, 3 and 4 tools. We need some Groovi tabs. We need a tumble dry sheet. And I also need my Groovi guard. Okay. And that's it. That's all we're going to need for today. Now, some of you may have recognised, may recall, you know this lovely little poppy head here. When I was having a play with those gel pens the other week, this is the flower that I've used. So this is using the gold, silver and copper. And then this is using the pink, purple, green and blue. So look, I mean, just that. I love this. Okay, but I digress. I nearly said I divulge. I don't divulge, I digress. Put the ruler back in the pot. Ooh. So that's all we're going to need for today's session. And we're just going to keep it nice and simple, nice and easy. And then we'll grow. And I'll show you some alternatives of what you can do as we start to work with the designs. But it's all about just having a little bit of confidence and looking at the plates in different ways. And it's, I don't know, just take the plate, trace it out. I mean, especially the lovely little parchlets, that's a piece of art as it is. You don't need to do anything else. If you went for the designer parchment, haven't even got to worry about colouring in. So Mo said she had a go at that yesterday and really found that the gold and silver are hard to do. Okay, so let me give you a top tip with the gold, silver and copper. What I found was the nibs are slightly different on the gold, silver and copper. So I found that if I traced out with the number 1 or the number 2 tool first into the groove and then went over with the gold, silver and copper, I had it had something to hold on to, if you know what I mean, because I'd broken the fibers with that. And in some areas I did have to go over a couple of times. So give that a go, Mo. Give that a go, Mo. And you may find that easier. With the pink, purple, blue and pink, purple, blue and green, they tend to flow more easily. But yeah, definitely try that, because I found by going in with the number 1 or the number 2 tool first, what it did, it gave the tip of those particular pens a little bit more grip and a little bit more flow on the ink. Okay, Oh, all this waffling. I need a bit of a slurp of my coffee. Hang on, is it open? Of course it is. Very, very hot. Hot, hot, hot. Okay. Are we good to go? Are we? Who's doing it and who's watching? Because I know many of you already. Which die do we need to cut the square with? I'm glad you asked that, Jill. If you're going to cut it out, then it is, let me have a look. So that's the one. I just happen to have my plates here. So on the square, keep that in there. So that particular one is 1, 2, 3, 4. Whoops. 1, 2, 3, 4 from the outside. Okay. Or if you're a middle person, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 from the middle. Okay. So that's the one that will give us that outer frame, which is on the plate mate here. Okay, those double lines will fit perfectly within that. But I'm going to go with just a piece of A5 parchment for those of you that don't have the Pico dies. Okay, so firstly what I'm going to do, pop this to one side, and I'm going to take my tumble dry sheet and give that a wipe. Now, these lovely layering frames, for those of you who've been following previously, those some of those multi-needle tools will be great to go around the outside of some of these shapes. Okay, so in case I want to do that, I'm going to wipe both sides of my tumble dry sheet, both sides of my parchment. So let's keep it nice and easy. And all we're going to do is take our A5 parchment, attach it to our plate mate, like so. There we go. I'm going to take my number 1 tool and my Groovi guard and trace out my lines. Now I'm doing the outer line first. So 1, 2, and I'm turning my work. 1, 2. I'm just going to work. You know what I've done? Which square was I meant to do? Nobody told me, did they? I wanted to do this one. That's all right. I'm going to finish this one now because I can use this for another project. So I'm going to pop this to one side. Oh, I'm sure somebody was shouting at the screen saying, oh, it's the wrong one, it's the wrong one. Parchment, tumble dry sheet, both sides. Attach to the plate mate with my Groovi tabs, like so. And it's the outer one that I want. Let's try again, shall we? Let's rewind. Oh dear. Right. Outer line first. Turn it round. Next one. Now I got a bit of resistance there when I came down there. It probably just needs a bit of a wipe with the tumble dry sheet. Much better. Around again. So what this is doing, this potentially is giving us our first or bottom layer. Ken said he tried shouting at the screen, but I couldn't hear him. Afraid not. Imagine if everyone started shouting at the screen. Okay, that's not difficult, is it? So now we want to introduce this middle circle from this particular plate. So how do I know that I'm going to be in the right place? I reckon what I'm going to do, because I've gone for a bigger square, okay, because if you look at what Jill's done, she's done a smaller square, but I've gone big. So if I wanted to, I'm not going to get both of those circles in place. But what I'm going to do now is bring it in. I wonder, hang on a minute. Let me just check this out. Okay. I reckon. So what I'm doing, I'm taking the outer line, one away from the edge, and I'm lining it up with the inner line of the circle. Okay. So that line, if it's slightly off, it really doesn't matter, does it? This is where we learn. And now what I'm going to do is trace out this circle like so. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to do the circle first. I'm not going to put all the detail in, because what I don't want to do is put all that detail in and then realize I haven't got the space. Okay, so there's my first circle. So if I turn my parchment round and follow the same basis, okay, of lining up just like that, then where's my Groovi card? Tracing out a circle, because if I'm happy then with my positioning, I can go back in and add the detail. Now these two particular circles would also work as separate layers using the Pico circles, as I showed earlier. Which one was it? That one. See, so I could take, if I wanted to, I could just take that and use that instead. Okay. So now I have my two circles. Now, which way do I want it to go? See, it's all about having options. Next, I want to add in one of these squares, or I could add in one of the circles. So many options to choose from. Or I can add one of these corners in. The lovely daisy corner, the lovely poppy corner. Spoilt for choice with Tina. We've got these lovely, we're going to use these lovely corners here. So let's put these corners in first. Okay. So they're going to go in the opposite corners. And what I can do now is use the outer frame to line up the frame I've traced. Reposition my Groovi tabs to hold my parchment in place, just like so. See, when you look, there's so many different corners. We've got that corner. You could have this corner. You could have this corner. You could have this corner. This is a corner. This is a corner. On the plates, there's corners. How many corners do we need? Okay, let's have a slurp of the coffee. Okay, so let's have a look. I reckon I'm going to go with, let's have a look. let's keep it nice and easy and just go with the number 1 tool on the whole of the design. Need the glasses. It's all quiet on the Western Front. Everyone's in concentration mode. I was wondering, because I didn't see any movement in the chat, and I thought, oh no, is there anybody still here? There we go. See, look, these are lovely little snowflakes, potentially. Tina has a fantastic eye with her designs. And just like Linda Williams has got that same elements to it, that when they're coming up with designs for new plates, it's all about giving value for money. Okay. So if we wanted, we could just stop at that point. Which circle did I use? Jill, pay attention. Right, the circle that I used. Okay, I've taken it from this plate, and this plate is called, this is the Wonderful Wildflower plate. Okay, and I chose the middle circle, or if you're going with your Pico circles, if you want to keep it separately, Jill was die cutting. All right, Jill, I'll let you off. Okay, let's have a look. So on this one, because it's smaller, I'm going to go from the middle. 1, 2, 3. It's third from the middle. 1, 2, 3. It's a lot easier when it's smaller to go from the middle. Oh dear. See, the beauty of the interaction, and also of the sort of on YouTube and Facebook, is that you can go back and you can watch it again and again, can't you? So if I hadn't picked up on that question, I mean, I'm sure somebody else in the room would have answered, but at least you can go back and watch it again. Okay, glasses. And carry on with this corner. That could be a film, couldn't it? Carry on cornering. Oh dear. Carry on grooving. That's exactly what we're doing now. Okay. Work our way around. And I'm turning the work so it's more comfortable for me. I mean, I could use, look, that makes, what's happening, because I haven't attached it, it's lifting away. So this is where the Groovi guard comes into play, because what it does is it keeps my parchment down. Okay. So what else have I got to tell you this week? I mean, for those of you in the chat, Kirsty, Barb filled you in, but I shall fill you in as well, just in case you've forgotten or you wasn't with us yesterday. So we're Tuesday. On Thursday at 6 p.m. in the shack, craft along with Barb using the Twiggy Bauble stamps and Groovi, with all profits from the sale of the stamp and the Groovi and the collection being donated to children in need. Ken, Parcher's ding dong. Oh, Ken, you could be the script writer for that one, I reckon. So that's on Thursday at 6 o'clock, live on Facebook and YouTube. But if you can't join in at 6 o'clock, you know that you can go back and watch it afterwards. at a time that may suit you better. So that's on Thursday. Then on Sunday, first Sunday of the month, dare I say, December, 3 till 5 on Create and Craft with Barb and her Ding Dong. I think Barb's going for the Ding Dong bell, not sure yet. You have to tune in and find out. So that's on Sunday. And then there won't be any Shack on Monday because Barb's off to New York to see lovely Gracie. I'll be back with you on Tuesday for Groovi Tuesday. And then on Wednesday, one day special on Create and Craft. I'll be up at TV Land. But I'll tell you more about that next week. If you love Groovi, then and you're looking for the next level, then yeah, you have to find out. Come back and join me next Tuesday, and I'll tell you what we're up to on TV. Well, what I'm up to on TV on the Wednesday and Thursday. Don't want to give it away too soon. Oh. So yeah, so lots to keep you company, keep you indoors, crafting. Lots of hot chocolate, or just chocolate, entirely up to you. So he says, more secrets to be revealed. It isn't anything, no, I'm not going to say anything. Shush, Paul, shush. Okay, so what we're doing now, we're putting the other corner in, or the opposite corner in on this design. Mo says she's always up for another level. Wasn't that a group? Oh no, that was level 42, wasn't it? So Pat Hoskins, lovely Pat. Beautiful little set designed by our talented Tina Cox is perfect for beginners. Just remember, it's possible to make just a small sample of parchment craft, mount it, and still produce a beautiful card. I think I shall treat myself too. Well, Mrs. Pat Hoskins, I think it was a very special birthday last week, wasn't it? So I think, not that we really need an excuse to treat ourselves when it comes to crafting. I know many of us use different excuses. Oh, it's Monday today, so I need that. Or it's my birthday next year. I need it now, though. Ken saying 42 is also the answer to everything. Is it? Explain, Mr. Ken. Explain. Explain why I carry on parching. All my glasses are just... I think I wiped my glasses with the tumble dry sheet. Not good. Schmeary glasses. Just wiped it on my jumper. Okay. Okay, so I need to look this up then. If 42 is the answer to everything, there's obviously some scientific level 42. Oh, I'm getting confused now with all these numbers. Okay. Talking of numbers, I'm a big fan of Barbra Streisand, and she recently released her much-awaited autobiography, and it's a very big book. And I thought, there's no way am I ever going to be able to find the time to sit down and read it, because I know as soon as I read a book, I'd fall asleep. And Barb's always going on about listening to books. I thought, well, I don't know whether I could take it in by listening to it. But then when I found out that Barbra Streisand was going to be narrating it herself or reading the book herself, I thought, well, here you go. So it was reading the book was 48 hours of audio. And being a fan, I knew a lot of the ins and outs of films and music and timelines and stuff like that. But she was saying her lucky number is 24. I know it's not 40, it's the reverse of 42, but it just sort of prompted that. And how over the years the number 24 had been significant for various different reasons, occasions, and sometimes quite by chance, like winning an award at a ceremony and not realizing it was the 24th of that particular month, or when she filmed the scene on the tugboat in Funny Girl, which was one of the films that made her. The number on the front of the boat was 24. So it's quite interesting, isn't it, how sort of numbers have various different meanings. But it is a very, very interesting listen/read, and it's great because with the audiobook, bits of music get played as well. So if she's talking about a particular album or a particular song that she wrote, then the song would come up, which if you're reading the physical book, it wouldn't happen, would it? Because you can only imagine that. So it was a real sort of eye-opener. Okay, so we've got the frame. We've put the 2 circles in, which if you wanted to, you could die cut and put the circles on top as well. Now we've put the little corners in from the platemate. Then we're going to introduce one of the squares from the platemate. So which ones do we want to go? I quite like, but I was looking at this and I was thinking of Mo as I was looking at this. Okay, can we see a face? 2 big goggle eyes. Could be a mouth or a beak. Sorry, Mo. When I see things, I just think of you. Not that you've got big Google eyes, but as we see different things now when we're working with parchment, I was thinking, oh, what would Mo see? Okay, so we've got 3 different choices of 3 different designs. And again, if we wanted to, these could be separate layers, because you could use your little Pico square to cut out. There we go. Susan can see her face as well. So now, which design do I want to go for? Do I want to go for the boxes? Do I want to go for the circles that have got sort of like a diagonal flow to it, or more of a straight pattern? I think I'm going to go for this one. Okay, so that's going to be filled in the area here. So let's have a look. How should we play this one? We need something as a reference. So I reckon with this plate in place here, so if I have the corner and the bottom, I can use these lines to make sure that I'm going in straight. I can look at that and reckon, yeah, I reckon that will work. And we've still got to go in and fill in these circles as well. But all I'm doing now, I suppose what I should have done was put the square in first, but I needed to put the corners in to give me that point of reference. So I'm going to repeat that same process, the outer square first, turn it around, like so. And once I've got my composition in place, I can go back in and add the design. But what I didn't want to have to do was to fill in all the circles, fill in all the squares, and then realise that it wasn't right, or I wasn't happy with it. So I haven't wasted that time. Okay. So now we're going to turn that round. We're going to line that one back up again. And the flower on this is just touching the inner one of the box next to it. Reposition with your Groovi tabs, like so. And then I nearly panicked then. I thought I'd put the wrong square in because I wasn't paying attention. Where's it gone? There it is. See, sometimes I get carried away. So I look up to read some of your messages, and then I went, where am I going? And I just go in for it, and I think, oh goodness me. Okay. So that looks good, doesn't it? What does it look like now? It looks like an owl. Pat, I totally agree. I mean, when I'm listening to the book, I'm driving, or I'm in the office, or I'm on the computer. But I know that if I put an audio book on and did nothing apart from listen to it, I would fall asleep. That's just me. If I went to bed and was listening to it, I'd be gone like that. So maybe an audio book is something that would help you sleep. I know back in my younger days, I always used to have music on. It was a tape, a cassette tape. The only thing was, you'd be listening to the tape, and then it'd clunk, and it'd sort of wake you up because there's a clunk on the tape of it coming to the end. But yeah, definitely. I mean, sometimes I only have to watch the TV and I'm out for the count. But having sort of maybe just some background music or something like that definitely used to help me sleep in my younger days. Now I head hits the pillow and I'm gone anyway. But an audiobook may. I know when I was talking to Barb about audiobooks, and she said the voice or the narrator can sometimes make or break the book on how you enjoy it. And that's where lovely Gracie, I mean, she's got a fantastic voice for audiobooks. And maybe try one of Gracie's books that she's covered, because she's got the same voice as her mum. She's got that same sort of calming voice as well. So yeah, give that a go, maybe. Never know. All helps, doesn't it? Okay, so we've got the lovely layout, so to speak. And as I said, the outer square could be on one piece of parchment, the circles could be on separate pieces, and so could the squares. So this is where you can decide the layers, whether you want to do all the layers on one piece like I'm doing here, or to create the layers. And I suppose if you're going to create the layers, you still need to have a rough idea of your composition. But by just having several pieces of parchment cut out to the right size, these would then become your templates. So you can say, right, well, I'm going to put that one there, I'm going to put that one there, I'm going to put another one there. And you can have a look and move it around and say, oh yeah, oh, I quite like that. I mean, I could have gone, I reckon, let's have a look, where's the plate's gone. See, if I didn't want squares, if I wanted to change it up a little bit, I could have gone for the circles instead to keep it maybe looking a little bit more softer. I mean, it's not hard, is it? I mean, maybe I could have put the circle one in place, you'll get a different look. But I know I definitely need to have something in here. So I reckon for in here, I don't know. Let me. I think that might be a little bit too much. You can have it going all the way around, but I don't know. I think decisions. Well, while I'm decisioning, what I'm going to do is go in and fill in these empty spaces. See this, I'm just reading all these lovely comments about people listening to books. I mean, Barb swears by it for having that sort of distraction and the calming and everything else. But I always thought that I wouldn't enjoy it. I suppose by going with the Streisand autobiography first and her reading it out, I suppose that was a good way of going in. And then I just need to find another. I have actually downloaded, so I love autobiographies. And what is the one I have just? Richard E. Grant. I've just downloaded his one. So that will be next on my agenda. Because again, I think he's got a great voice and he's got a great story as well. And he's also a massive Barbra Streisand fan. But so yeah, I think it's definitely for me in the car driving to and from work. Sometimes when we go up to Peterborough for the TV, if I'm on my own, I always used to listen to the radio, and then the news would cut in or music. But it definitely, yeah, I can definitely say I'm a convert, and I just need to build up my collection slowly now. So yeah, but I do love autobiographies. Okay, so let's go in and fill in the squares. So now, because all these three squares are the same, I can decide do I want to go with the original one. I reckon I will. But you've got 3 different designs to choose from. So I missed a little bit there, so that gets filled in. Maybe I just want to put the squares in. Maybe I don't want to add in the dots. Maybe I want to put something else in the middle. Choices. But if we just take, I've taken my inspiration, say, from a lovely piece that obviously Tina came up with the layout configuration, and Jill has taken her inspiration from the artwork, and there was another piece of artwork I think that Tina created. And but I thought to start off with, just to break it in nice and easy, we would just go with everything on one layer, but I would show you how you can vary it by using the Pico dies to cut out to create the layers if you wanted to. Okay, so all I'm doing is I'm just adding in the detail now. So what else have I got to say? So I've told you about the craft along on Thursday at 6 p.m. with Barb using the Twiggy Bauble stamps and Groovi. TV on Sunday. Then don't forget to check out Barb's blog, barbaragrayblog.com, and also the Clarity Matters blog, claritymattersblog.com, that Gracie updates on a Saturday with a Saturday share, and then a step-by-step project on a Sunday from one of our fantastic design team members. I can't remember what it is this week. I know we've been going down the Stampy Inky route. But yeah, all of that is all available to go back and investigate, and it's all free of charge. We have our lovely groups on Facebook, Clarity Worldwide and Groovi Worldwide. So we're always here to help. We've got the lovely Sue on the end of the phone if you're really stuck. I don't mean that. If you're really stuck, the last result is Sue. I didn't mean that. What I meant was that if you can't find an answer to what you're looking for, you can always ring Sue, and Sue will give you the answer. That's what I meant. That sounded so wrong in so many ways, but it wasn't. It was just the way I said it and the tone I said it. So, wow, I can't believe it is 11 o'clock already. I'm digging a hole. That's what I'm saying. I'm glad it's 11 o'clock. I can stop digging. So thank you for your company as always. Thank you to lovely Sue for being such a super person. The design team also been in the room, and as always for your company. Next week we're going to continue this journey, and we'll have a look at some layers and just different bits and pieces, just to show different alternatives. We'll have the lovely artwork. Maybe we'll have a look at a piece and sort of dissect it, and not physically, but say, right, well, this is what's been done on this one, this is what's been done on that one. And to get that effect of layering, another way of doing it is to have it all on one piece of parchment and introduce colour in different areas. So it gives that faux illusion of layering. So until next week, stay in. I know it's sunny outside, but it's a bit fresh. So stay in and get your plates out, so to speak, and get in that groove. So until Thursday, I'll see you on Thursday. I'll be in the room with Barb on Thursday evening at 6 o'clock. Take care now. Bye-bye.